I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna do something that no one has probably never done before. I'm gonna be ranking episodes and seasons from the longest running cartoon show ever, The Simpsons. That's right, I'm gonna be ranking and reviewing every single episode from 37 seasons as of now. Here's how this will work. I will be reviewing every episode by talking about the plot, what I liked, what I disliked, and be rating them on a scale from 10. 1 meaning it's terrible, and 10 meaning it's fantastic. So with that being said, let's start with the pilot episode, which is actually a Christmas special. Simpsons roasting on an open fire. This is the series opening on its most honest note. It centers on Homer's fear of failing his family. He's worrying over not being able to provide for Christmas. See, this is the Homer that I miss, not what he would later turn into like 3 seasons after season 4. What makes it different from most other cartoon pilots is that it immediately establishes the show's emotional thesis. The ending where they get Santa's little helper was actually quiet, humane, and pretty grounded for a pilot. Overall, I give this episode a 9.6 out of 10. Oh, and fun fact, this is the only episode that premiered in 1989. Everything else premiered in 1990. Next up is Bart the Genius, which he's not a genius actually. Apparently he swapped tests with a student who is much smarter than him, and then he gets mistaken for being a genius and does all this high-tech stuff that we geniuses and smart people love to do and stuff, and Bart doesn't understand it, and yeah, you pretty much get the idea. This episode is only decent. It's not bad by any means, but I don't know, it's just not very memorable. Nothing really noteworthy aside from
Quidgibo, a big, dumb, balding North American ape with no chin.
And a short temper.
I'll show you a big dumb balding ape.
Quidgibo on the loose.
This is only the 3rd episode, and this is where things are already getting interesting. I find that this episode is very overlooked because of one certain scene, but if you look besides that, it's not really that bad. This is one of the more serious episodes of the season, as well as one of the boldest. The episode flirts with darkness, identity lost, unemployment. It is rough, I admit though. This is an okay episode. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I feel like No Disgrace Like Home is probably one of the most experimental episodes. It just feels more exaggerated than any other episode of the show. Looking at you, family electric chair scene. I can see the satire tone that this episode is going for, and it does great on that. Not much else to say here, honestly, but it's still a great episode, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Next up is a full-on war movie, Bart the General. I will never do a joke like that ever again. Bart the General is ambitious and fun, but I will admit it's a bit outdated, and plus Bart is a bit out of character here. He's more of a strategist, scared kid here, which to be honest, I wouldn't even fully blame him. Even then, this episode still shows how creative the writers were back then. 9 out of 10. This one is one of the more important episodes of the show, and you can't deny that. Moaning Lisa treats Lisa's depression seriously without being preachy, plus her friendship with Bleeding Gums Murphy adds depth to both characters. Whenever I defend the first 3 seasons, this is one of the main episodes I go to try and defend them. This episode is one of my favorite Lisa episodes. It's emotional, and it has a beautiful ending. This episode is just a masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Yes, one of the first instances in a cartoon about a family or friends getting lost in the wilderness. This one's fine, to be honest. None of the jokes really land that well. It's not bad, but it's not good either. However, I will give it some extra points for being admittedly fun. It's a decent episode, but it would improve greatly if it was in the later seasons. 7.5 out of 10. The Telltale Head. Yes, that's the actual name of the episode. It's about Bart telling a story about how he vandalized a statue and how he feels guilty about it. This one teaches a great moral to kids. I'm sure kids can relate to Bart here. This episode nails peer pressure, guilt, and Bart's conscience. It's a very simple and effective episode. 10 out of 10 for sure. Why are Marge episodes so rare in the earlier seasons? This one works because Marge's temptation is handled with maturity, and the ending shows how the Simpsons marriage works. It also has real marital tension, complex feelings, and no easy villain. This one deserves a 10 out of 10. That's unfortunately not what I can say for the next episode though. Homer's Night Out is probably the weakest episode of the season. The execution is awkward, Homer is creepy, Marge is dumb, the whole thing is a misunderstanding. I won't say it's entirely bad, the message is at least good, but it's pretty mediocre, especially for a first season's episode. Good lesson, bad framing, 5.5 out of 10. The Grapes of Wrath isn't very memorable, to be honest. I mean, yeah, Bart and Friends sounds like a fun concept, but it feels like filler. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. There's not much else to it. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Let's just move on. Our first Sideshow Bob episode is called Krusty Gets Busted. I'm a sucker for Sideshow Bob episodes, and I'm a sucker for mystery episodes, so you already know that I love this one. 10 out of 10. Though I really wonder, why does Bob even continue working for Krusty if he hates his job so much? I'm having some enchanted evening. What better way to enchant my evening than talking about the episode Some Enchanted Evening, aka the season 1 finale of The Simpsons. Not so fun fact, but this was originally going to be the pilot of The Simpsons, but the animation was so quote-unquote bad that they had to reanimate it, and thus it's now the season finale. Honestly, this kind of works better as the season finale now that I think about it. Homer and Marge reaffirm their relationship, while the kids have to deal with the babysitter. The ending gets me every time too. Homer humiliates himself while letting the babysitter get away with it. This is a very strong finale. It deserves another 10 out of 10. Also, can we just take a look and see how smooth this animation is for 1 second?
Said you're gonna watch this tape, and you're gonna do what I say, or I'm gonna do something to you. And I don't know what that is, because everybody has always done what I say.
Season 1 is actually pretty great in my opinion. It's very enjoyable. It treats the characters more like real people, and I appreciate that. I'll have to rewatch Season 2 and see if it's even better or not, but I actually really like Season 1. Every episode aside from Homer's Night Out is really enjoyable and fun to watch. The art style and animation here is charming, but it gets even better with Season 2 and 3. The other Klasky Cuspo animated seasons. Let's rank every episode from worst to best of Season 1. In last place with 13th place is Homer's Night Out, 12 is Homer's Odyssey, 11 is The Grapes of Wrath, 10 is Bart the Genius, 9 is Call of the Simpsons, 8 is There's No Disgrace Like Home, 7 is Bart the General, 6 is Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, 5 is Life on the Fast Lane, 4 is Moaning Lisa, 3 is Krusty Gets Busted, 2 is The Telltale Head, and the number 1 best episode of Season 1 is Some Enchanted Evening. Season 1 overall is a great season. It deserves an 8.5 out of 10. Alright, so I'm really bad at ending videos like this, so yeah, see you in the Season 2 retrospective, I guess.